All right, in this video, I'm going to talk about why COVID-19 restrictions are immoral and unjust, not to mention ineffective. And I speak from a quarantine facility here in South Korea where there's currently a mandatory 7-day quarantine where the government assigns you a hotel room, basically, that you're not allowed to leave for the entire duration of the 7 days, which is absolutely ridiculous. And I've probably lost my mind at this point, but anyways, so the reason COVID-19 restrictions are unacceptable is because people should have the freedom to choose their own risk tolerance. That means that if you want to completely minimize your chances of getting coronavirus, you are free to wear the most protective mask, the FFP3 or FFP2 masks, which virtually protect you from coronavirus when you go out in public. And then also you can exercise isolation as much as possible, stay home, order delivery, order groceries. They can deliver those now, and just avoid contact with other people, maintain social distancing whenever you do go out, work remotely, or just get money from the government. You have the freedom to choose this lifestyle if you want to minimize your coronavirus risk. So what right do you have to tell other people that they must wear masks at all times, or not be able to dine in at restaurants, or the restaurant capacity has to be restricted, or whatever? Like, a private restaurant should be able to operate the restaurant however they want. I mean, obviously there are basic restaurant codes, but I mean, the fact that there's a virus out there that might be dangerous doesn't mean that restaurants should be forced to close or only accept vaccinated guests, or require masks walking to your table, or whatever other ridiculous, or whatever other measures there are. It's just not justified, because you can choose your own level of risk tolerance. The vaccine pass is obviously ridiculous. People should have the freedom to decide whether or not they want to take a vaccine, especially when the vaccine is so rushed out and there is so little data attesting to its efficacy in regarding to especially the latest variant, Omicron. And basically there is virtually no data really proving that these vaccines and the boosters were necessary, but governments were peddling them, telling their citizens they have to get it, and in the worst cases, creating vaccine passes so that you needed it to do anything in society or for your job, whatever else. And this is a complete infringement of just basic human rights, completely unacceptable. It's not even effective. And what's ridiculous about it is basically the government saying that you need this vaccine to protect yourself from this deadly virus. But when you get the vaccine, you still have to wear a mask and abide by all the measures and all the restrictions, because the vaccine actually isn't that effective. So we still need the measures, but you still need to get the vaccine. So which is it, right? Either the vaccine is effective, which if that were the case, then nobody should have to undergo these restrictions, and we should be able to get back to life as usual if you're vaccinated. Or the vaccine doesn't work, but if it doesn't work, then why are we forcing it on people, right? It just doesn't even make any logical sense. It's just people have lost their minds over this, and it's ridiculous. And I mean, right now I'm really pissed because I'm stuck here in this quarantine facility in South Korea for 7 days, and it's ridiculous. Even if I was outside right now in South Korea, they have a outdoor mask mandate. They've got a curfew, business restrictions, just ridiculous. All for a virus that's not even that deadly. I mean, the infection fatality rate is something like 0.2%. And this virus disproportionately affects the old and immunocompromised. So again, people have the freedom to decide the level of risk tolerance they want to make. So if we wanted to implement mandates, which I don't agree with, but let's say we wanted to implement mandates, why not implement mandates on those who are most vulnerable to the virus, the old and immunocompromised? The old in particular are a lot easier to isolate and do all that because they're retired. I mean, you're over 70 years old, you're probably retired, you're probably at home all day anyway, so why does the kid in school need to wear a mask? It's absolutely immoral, it's ridiculous. So, I mean, people have lost their minds over this, and yeah, look, I mean, at the end of the day, people have the freedom to choose their own level of risk tolerance, and because of that, it is unjustified to force everybody else to conform to your personal level of risk tolerance. Give people the information they need, the healthcare they need when they get sick, but let people decide for themselves whether they want to leave the house, go to a restaurant, gym, nightclub, wear a mask, whatever the hell, get a vaccine or whatever the hell people want to do. Stop forcing people to do things. That's authoritarian. That's basically what's going on in Russia right now with their dictatorship, where you've got basically one man running the entire country, choosing this ridiculous war. Okay, I'm not going to get sidetracked here, but authoritarianism is the problem. This country was founded, the U.S. was founded on the principle of basic freedom, liberty, and these COVID restrictions are a violation of freedom. Now, a lot of people are going to misconstrue this and say, oh, so you're saying the government should do nothing? No, I'm not saying that. Like I just said, governments should educate the public, provide adequate health care, develop vaccines when necessary, provide testing availability, do all of that stuff, right? The supply side of the equation. But just restricting everyday life for all people over this virus, absolutely ridiculous. So yeah. And then the last thing is that this virus is really not that deadly. Like the infection fatality rate is 0.2%. If you're under 50, it's like 0.05%. If you're a kid, it's negligible. So chances are, like, and I think the median age of death from the virus is like it's like 84 versus 82 in the UK versus the median life expectancy of 82 in the UK. So the people who die with coronavirus are actually older than the average median age of death in the UK. So, look, I have empathy for anybody who suffered and died. I'm not saying there haven't been young people who died. It is just unjustified to just do these blanket population-wide mandates. And also, these mandates, they completely neglect the side effects. Like, for example, the increasing rates in depression, suicides, deteriorating mental and physical health from these lockdown policies, the economic damage, people going bankrupt, losing their businesses, losing their jobs. There's just so many. This affects all of society. And so this appeal to the experts, like listen to the medical experts, that's not a valid argument. It's just an appeal to authority that's not legitimate, because these lockdown measures they affect all of society. And there's no single person or field of study that is an expert in all of the ramifications of these coronavirus policies. And at the end of the day, it's a subjective choice, right? Because it's all trade-offs. Every restriction is a trade-off. And I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. So I mean, it is not like these policies should not just be in the domain of the epidemiologists or the virologists or all that stuff, because it also affects the economics or mental health, psychology, just basic everyday life. Some people just find it dehumanizing and uncomfortable to have to wear a mask all the time, and these masks aren't even effective. Well, the cloth masks aren't even effective. FFP2, FFP3, yeah, those are effective. But again, summarize the video: as long as you have the freedom to choose your own risk tolerance and isolate yourself and wear a FFP3 mask or FFP2 mask if you want, then you have no right to force everybody else to abide by your own standards. This is ridiculous. This needs to stop. Don't care what party you're in. This is unacceptable. That's it. All right. See you in the next video. Peace.